The Battle of Gettysburg, fought from July 1st to July 3rd, 1863, stands as a pivotal moment in American history. In the rolling farmland of southern Pennsylvania, two massive armies clashed in a brutal and bloody conflict that would decide the fate of a nation. This small town, previously unknown to most, became a symbol of sacrifice, courage, and the enduring spirit of the American people. The battle marked a turning point in the American Civil War. It shattered the Confederacy's hopes of a decisive victory in the North. It also inflicted heavy losses on General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. The Union victory at Gettysburg, though costly, gave the North a much-needed morale boost. The spring of 1863 saw the Confederacy emboldened by a string of victories. These triumphs had bolstered the morale of the Southern soldiers and their leaders, giving them a renewed sense of purpose and determination. The Confederate Army, under the command of its skilled generals, felt invincible as they prepared for their next move. General Robert E. Lee, a brilliant strategist, decided to take the war to the north. Lee believed that a bold offensive could change the course of the war. He aimed to strike a decisive blow that would not only disrupt the Union's plans but also bring the conflict to a swifter conclusion. His leadership and tactical acumen were crucial to the Confederate cause. His goal was to disrupt Union supply lines, demoralize the Northern populace, and perhaps even force a negotiated peace. By moving the theater of war into Northern territory, Lee hoped to relieve pressure on the Southern states and create a sense of urgency among Northern leaders. The Confederate troops advanced with a sense of mission, knowing that their actions could potentially turn the tide of the war. Meanwhile, the Army of the Potomac, under the newly appointed command of General George G. Meade, shadowed Lee's movements. Meade, though new to his command, was determined to prove his mettle. He understood the importance of stopping Lee's advance and was committed to protecting Northern soil. The Union soldiers, aware of the high stakes, marched with resolve and vigilance. The two armies, almost by chance, converged near the small town of Gettysburg. This seemingly inconsequential town would soon become the site of one of the most significant battles in American history. The landscape of Gettysburg, with its rolling hills and strategic positions, would play a crucial role in the unfolding conflict. The Confederates were seeking supplies, including shoes, which were in rumored abundance in the town. The need for resources was a constant challenge for the Confederate Army, and the prospect of finding much-needed supplies in Gettysburg was a strong motivator. Little did they know that their search would lead to a confrontation that would alter the course of the war. The Union Army, determined to stop Lee's advance, hurried to meet them. The soldiers of the Army of the Potomac were well aware of the significance of the impending clash. They prepared themselves for the battle ahead, knowing that the outcome could have far-reaching consequences for the future of the nation. What began as a small cavalry skirmish quickly escalated into a full-blown battle. The initial encounters were fierce and chaotic, with both sides fighting desperately for control. As reinforcements poured in, the battle grew in intensity, setting the stage for a three-day conflict that would become a turning point in the Civil War. The fields of Gettysburg would soon be etched into the annals of history as a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and the relentless struggle for victory. On July 1st, the battle began to the north of Gettysburg. Confederate forces clashed with Union cavalry under General John Buford. Buford's men, outnumbered, fought tenaciously, buying precious time for Union reinforcements to arrive. As the day wore on, the fighting intensified, pushing the Union troops back through the streets of Gettysburg. The Union forces, however, established strong defensive positions on Cemetery Hill and Culp's Hill to the south of town. These positions would prove crucial in the days to come. By nightfall, the first day of battle concluded with heavy losses on both sides, but with the Union Army holding the high ground. The second day of battle focused on the Union flanks. Lee ordered attacks on both Little Round Top and Devil's Den, strategically important hills on the Union left. The fighting was fierce and desperate. At Little Round Top, the Union 20th Maine under Colonel Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain made a legendary stand. With ammunition running low, Chamberlain ordered a bayonet charge down the hill, surprising and routing the Confederate attackers. Despite their successes at Little Round Top and Devil's Den, the Confederates were unable to break the Union line. The day ended with the Union still in control of the high ground. Section 5. Pickett's Charge. A high watermark, a crushing blow. On July 3rd, Lee made a fateful decision. He ordered a massive assault on the center of the Union line, an attack that would become known as Pickett's Charge. Over 12,000 Confederate soldiers marched across nearly a mile of open ground, facing a withering barrage of Union artillery and rifle fire. The charge, though courageous, was a disaster. The Confederate ranks were decimated. Few men even reached the Union lines. Those who did were quickly cut down or captured. Pickett's Charge marked the high watermark of the Confederacy's invasion of the North. It also marked the beginning of the end for Lee's army at Gettysburg. Section 6, The Aftermath. A field of losses, a nation divided. The Battle of Gettysburg ended on July 3rd with a Union victory. The Confederate army, battered and bruised, retreated back to Virginia. The human cost of the battle was staggering. Over 50,000 men were killed, wounded, or captured during those 3 bloody days. The battlefield itself was a scene of unimaginable carnage. The stench of death hung heavy in the air. The small town of Gettysburg was overwhelmed with the wounded. The scale of the battle left an indelible mark on the American psyche, a grim reminder of the human cost of war. Section 7. Gettysburg as turning point. The tide begins to turn. The Battle of Gettysburg is widely considered the turning point of the Civil War. This monumental clash, which took place over 3 days in July 1863, saw the Union and Confederate forces engage in one of the bloodiest battles in American history. The stakes were incredibly high, and the outcome would shape the future of the nation. The Confederacy's defeat shattered its aura of invincibility. Up until this point, General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia had been seen as nearly unstoppable, winning several key battles. However, the loss at Gettysburg marked a significant blow to Confederate morale and military capability. It also crippled Lee's army, an army from which it would never fully recover. The heavy casualties suffered by the Confederates, including the loss of many experienced officers and soldiers, meant that Lee's forces were significantly weakened. This loss of manpower and morale would haunt the Confederacy for the remainder of the war. The Union victory at Gettysburg, coupled with the fall of Vicksburg on the Mississippi River, shifted the momentum of the war decisively in favor of the North. The fall of Vicksburg, which occurred just 1 day after the end of the Battle of Gettysburg, gave the Union control over the Mississippi River, effectively splitting the Confederacy in two and disrupting their supply lines. The war would drag on for another 2 bloody years, but the Confederacy's dream of independence had been dealt a fatal blow. The battles that followed were fierce and brutal, but the strategic advantage had shifted. The Union's industrial strength and larger population began to play a more decisive role in the conflict. Gettysburg showed the world that the Union was willing to fight to preserve itself. The determination and resilience displayed by the Union soldiers and their leaders sent a clear message that they would not easily be defeated. This resolve was crucial in maintaining the support of the Northern populace and the international community. It also demonstrated the resolve of the Union Army and the leadership of General George G. Meade. Meade's ability to effectively command his forces and make critical decisions under pressure was instrumental in securing the victory at Gettysburg. His leadership, along with the bravery of his soldiers, played a pivotal role in turning the tide of the war in favor of the Union. Section 8. The Legacy of Gettysburg. A nation heals, a memory endures. The Battle of Gettysburg left an indelible mark on American history. It was a turning point in the Civil War, a clash that would shape the future of the nation. Over 3 days in July 1863, the fields of Gettysburg witnessed intense combat, with both Union and Confederate forces suffering heavy casualties. The echoes of cannon fire and the cries of soldiers still seem to linger in the air, a haunting reminder of the conflict that once raged here. It stands as a testament to the courage and sacrifice of the soldiers who fought there. These men, from diverse backgrounds in different parts of the country, came together under their respective banners, driven by a sense of duty and honor. Their bravery and determination in the face of overwhelming odds are commemorated through countless memorials and monuments scattered across the battlefield. The battlefield itself, preserved as a national military park, serves as a solemn reminder of the cost of war and the importance of preserving peace. Walking through the park, one can almost feel the weight of history, the sacrifices made, and the lives lost. The rolling hills and open fields, once scenes of chaos and bloodshed, now offer a place for reflection and education, ensuring that future generations understand the gravity of what occurred here. In November of 1863, President Abraham Lincoln delivered his famous Gettysburg Address at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery. His speech, though brief, captured the essence of the nation's struggle and the hope for a united future. Lincoln's words, 77 years ago, have become synonymous with the American ideal of liberty and equality. His words, etched in stone at the cemetery, continue to resonate today, reminding us of the importance of a government of the people, by the people, for the people. The Gettysburg Address is not just a speech, it is a call to action, a reminder that the fight for freedom and equality is ongoing. It challenges us to live up to the principles upon which the nation was founded and to honor the sacrifices made by those who came before us. Gettysburg, though a battle lost by the Confederacy, also holds a place of reverence in Southern memory. For many in the South, it represents a moment of profound bravery and resilience. The soldiers who fought for the Confederacy did so with a sense of duty to their homeland, and their stories are an integral part of the tapestry of Gettysburg's history. It represents a time when Southern armies were at their most confident, and Southern soldiers displayed extraordinary valor. The determination and fighting spirit of these men are remembered and honored, even as the nation reflects on the broader implications of the war and the quest for unity and justice. This duality of perspectives, both Northern and Southern, contributes to the enduring legacy of Gettysburg as a pivotal event in American history. The battlefield is a place where stories of heroism and sacrifice from both sides converge, creating a complex and nuanced narrative. It is a place where the past is preserved, not just in monuments and markers, but in the collective memory of a nation that continues to heal and grow. The legacy of Gettysburg is one of reflection, reconciliation, and a commitment to ensuring that such a conflict never again tears the nation apart.